what struck me whenever I first got the idea that I was going to turn a Hoarder's building into a writer's shed slash, like, I don't know, just a place to go and chill, just a little reading nook. Have you ever just wanted a place where it was away from your house and away from TVs and screens, noises, such things like that, as if I didn't already have enough stuff to do? I decided that I would partially, kind of, not really, but yes, renovate the little building in the back. A little backstory about this building because, wow. So the woman that used to live here passed away. She was a full-out hoarder. The hardest part about all of it has been cleaning up. I don't know if you know how absolutely hard it can be to clean up a hoarder's old place. It has tested my patience, but it can be done, and that's what me and my partner have been working on for the past couple of years. And I do all of my work in here in the office. I just really wanted a little place of my own. Slowly I am transitioning into not being a pack rat myself, so I accumulated a lot of footage along the way. It took me a little while. I thought it would be kind of fun just to go through the footage and talk about it. In the end, I'll reveal everything, but let's look at the journey it took to get there. It was not a very hard project, but it was very time consuming and in some ways strenuous when you're trying to loft a toilet 30 feet across the yard. That was fun. So I started all of this by going on Pinterest, because Pinterest is exactly where I go to when I need inspiration and ideas. I was just pretty much searching for any kind of jumping board to start with, how I wanted it to look, what color is the inside going to be, how do I want to feel when I walk into it. I settled for a lot of white wall inspiration because if I didn't put white inside of it, it was just going to look so small. And so when I had my ideas of what I wanted to do, the only thing to do next was go and clean the thing out. It was packed. You would be amazed how much stuff you can actually fit inside of a little building of that size. It was excessive, y'all. It was excessive. But then the thing that came next was to get all that dust and dirt out, because truthfully, I should have worn a mask and I didn't. The sheer amount of dirt and grime and stuff and just like trash that came out of this building and all the other buildings. I don't want to hate on the woman who used to live here. I know she had issues. Hoarding is a serious problem, and it's also a big problem for the people that have to come in and clean it out. And then came to painting. So I had some leftover paint from where I painted the interior of the living room and the kitchen. However, I did not know how much of a pain in the butt it would be to paint over particle board. Every time that you would put the paintbrush on, it would just soak it up immediately, and you couldn't spread it, you couldn't do anything to it. That was that, and you just had to keep on packing it on. So these time lapses are essentially just me excruciatingly, tediously painting particle board. Of course, I had to paint the door because it was a weird rusty red that turned my paintbrush red. And what's even cooler is that there was so much leftover flooring, so I just took down all of that flooring so that I could paint these walls down here. So back when I lived in Puerto Rico, I did something to the ceiling in my bedroom that I fell in love with it, but it was such a pain in the butt to do that I never did it again. I have gone through the trials and errors of it, and I thought I had a better idea of how to do it this time. Luckily, I found a spare bed sheet. I'm gonna do a puffy blanket ceiling. I took it outside, and luckily I needed 4 panels that were all the same width and length. Whenever I folded the sheet 4 times over on itself, it fit perfectly. I didn't need to do anything but just cut out the strips, which I suggest doing with way better scissors than I did. And then here's a time lapse of me trying to put those up into the actual ceiling. If you push hard enough on a thumbtack, the tack can go through the thumb part, but eventually it got done. I guess it works out. It's cute. There are perks to finding a hoarding stash, and number 1, that is rogue shower rods, and it was perfect to hide anything that I still needed to store building wise, which is just like my very minuscule Christmas and fall decorations, and that's about it. And then it was time to put down the flooring. The edges of the flooring are kind of wonky. They're kind of missing on the very edge pieces, but that's fine. That's fine with me. I just wanted a new floor down that it would look nice. And then here is me not being very good at hammering, but I try anyways. And this is the day after, whenever I woke up and I wanted to go see how my progress was again. I had to put everything back in there from the day before because I didn't have anywhere to put that stuff yet. And then with everything painted, everything posted to the ceiling, everything swept, the floor done, all that was left was to go and try to pick out a window. So I went over to my family's house and I got a nice little drive. I didn't find a window that day, but I did find a hairy caterpillar. And then, when it was finally time, my dad came over and he put the window in for me. And like a child, I recorded literally everything because I was so excited to get that window put in there. I can't even begin to tell you how stuffy and humid and hot and just miserable cleaning it out was because there was just no airflow. Finally got to put up the shelves with the brackets that I've had for actual years. And then it was just time to clean the shelves, do maybe a little bit last minute touches, add the decorations of course. But now since I've gone through all the footage and I've talked my head off, it is time for the reveal.
Thank you so much for watching today, and don't forget to check out my book on Amazon, The Bed of Eels. Spooky season is right around the corner, and now is the perfect time to get your own copy. Follow me on Instagram where I post updates for upcoming books and share the glimmers in my life, and let's be friends on Goodreads because it's always inspiring to see what others are reading. I'll see you next time, friends.